The quantum foam shimmered like oil on water as Lisa materialized in the transfer chamber. Something was wrong. The acrid smell of ozone filled her nostrils, and the gravity felt 0.3 standard units too heavy. She checked her wrist-mounted chronometer that temporal coordinates were correct, but the spatial ones were catastrophically off. Identification, a mechanical voice, echoed through the chamber. Lisa's stomach dropped. This wasn't the Kepler Medical Institute. The walls were reinforced durasteel, not the sterile white polymers of a civilian facility. Through the observation window, she could see armed sentinels, biomechanical constructs that were illegal in 70% of colonized space. I said, identification. The voice was more insistent now. She pulled up her transfer documentation on her neural interface, and her blood ran cold. In her exhaustion after 3 consecutive shifts at the asteroid mining station, she'd filled out Form 27B instead of Form 27A. One letter, one microscopic bureaucratic difference that had rerouted her quantum signature across half the galaxy. Lisa Chen, transfer student, she said, her voice steadier than she felt. There's been a mistake. No mistakes at Proxima Academy, the voice replied. The chamber door hissed open, revealing a corridor that seemed to stretch into infinity. Proceed to orientation. Lisa had heard of Proxima Academy in whispered conversations, in the dark corners of space stations where mercenaries and corporate assassins gathered. It was where the consortium trained their most lethal operatives, warriors who could manipulate probability fields, engineers who could hack quantum-locked systems, pilots who flew ships through the event horizons of black holes and survived. The mortality rate during training was classified, but rumors put it at 40%. That she was a medical student. She fainted at the sight of her own blood. The orientation hall was carved from a single piece of asteroid rock, its walls lined with holographic memorials to fallen students. Lisa counted 37 names just in the current semester. Around her, cadets stood in perfect formation, enhanced humans with neural implants glowing beneath their skin, alien species she'd only seen in xenobiology textbooks, and a few baseline humans who looked like they could tear through steel with their bare hands. Welcome to Proxima Academy, announced the commandant, a woman whose left arm was entirely mechanical, crackling with barely contained plasma. You are here because you represent the galaxy's finest potential, or because you're about to die trying. Statistics suggest the latter. A cadet beside Lisa Thranxian with 4 arms and compound eyes leaned over. First time, wrong form, Lisa whispered back. I'm supposed to be at medical school. The Thranxian's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. Then you're already dead. The first trial began immediately. They were herded into simulation pods, coffin-like chambers that could recreate any environment with perfect fidelity. Lisa's pod sealed with a pneumatic hiss, and suddenly she was floating in the vacuum of space, her suit's oxygen timer counting down from 3 minutes. Survival Scenario Alpha, the commandant's voice crackled through her helmet. Come, retrieve the data core from the derelict ship and return to extraction point. Fail, and the scenario doesn't end. Your body will believe it's dying in vacuum, and your brain will follow. Lisa had never done EVA training. She'd never even been in a proper spacesuit. But as panic threatened to overwhelm her, something clicked in her mind. Years of studying human physiology, of understanding how the body responded to stress. She controlled her breathing, minimized her movements to conserve oxygen, and began to think. The derelict ship was a consortium cruiser, half destroyed in what looked like a quantum torpedo strike. Lisa recognized the design from her astrophysics elective. These ships had redundant life support systems, which meant there might be oxygen reserves in the emergency pods. She was right. 11 minutes later, she emerged from her simulation pod, gasping but alive. 17 cadets didn't. That night, in the communal barracks carved into the asteroid's core, Lisa met Corey. He was tall, with neural implants that formed geometric patterns across his shaved scalp, and eyes that seemed to calculate trajectories even while standing still. He was running diagnostics on his cybernetic enhancements when she collapsed onto her bunk. Medical student, he asked without looking up. How did you know? You flinched when they showed us the neural surgery demonstration. Everyone else was taking notes. He finally met her eyes, and she saw something unexpected, their kindness, hidden beneath layers of calculated survival instinct. I'm Corey, pilot. Track third attempt. Failed out twice. Came back because... He trailed off, then shrugged. Because there's nowhere else that'll take someone like me. Enhanced at 6 years old. Military contracts signed by my parents before I could read. Lisa sat up. I just filled out the wrong form. Corey laughed, a real, genuine sound that seemed alien in this place. Then you're the impossible girl. Nobody ends up at Proxima by accident. The quantum routing systems have fail-safes on their fail-safes. Over the following weeks, as the trials grew more brutal, Lisa began to understand what Corey meant. She shouldn't have survived the vacuum scenario, or the combat simulation where she talked down a hostage situation using nothing but psychology and an understanding of limbic system responses. She shouldn't have been able to hack the biometric locks in the infiltration trial, or figure out the mathematical proof required to disarm the quantum bomb in the theoretical physics challenge. She was adapting. Evolution in real time on the final trial, a solo mission into a collapsing star system to retrieve classified data. Lisa finally understood. As she piloted the escape pod through plasma storms that should have vaporized her, as she calculated jump coordinates that should have been impossible for a human brain to process, she realized the truth. The form hadn't been wrong. Somewhere in the consortium's vast bureaucratic machine, someone had seen her test scores, her psychological profile, her genetic markers, and made a decision. She was exactly where she was supposed to be when she returned to Proxima Academy. Corey was waiting at the landing bay. "Welcome back, impossible girl," he said. Lisa smiled, still trembling from adrenaline. "I think I need to update my major,"